Hey there, Halloweenies, it's Blackmetalwerewolf making a brand new video for you, and today we are going to be carving up a pumpkin. I absolutely love carving up pumpkins during the Halloween season, so I thought it'd be fun to carve it up on camera with you guys. So the first thing I did was set up a nice little station. I just put some newspaper down on my kitchen table there. Thankfully, the apartment that I live in had plenty of newspapers down the lobby, so I just stole a shit ton of them last night. And then I just need a place to put the pumpkin guts, so I just lined a pot with some plastic there. And then I just have some tools. You got the scooper, you got the carver, and then of course the dry erase marker. All of these came in a kit I bought from Walmart. It came with a bunch of other tools, but these are really only the ones I ever really need. And then of course I just need a big ass pumpkin to carve up, because how can you do that without a pumpkin? So once you got all your tools and your pumpkin set up on your workstation, I just carved out a little hole at the top there, just big enough to get my fist through. And I know there's probably going to be at least one person making a fisting comment. So, go for it. Those are always funny. Yeah, obviously you want to have enough room to get your hand in there so you can get out all the pumpkin guts. Actually, I'm quite allergic to the inside of a pumpkin. For some reason, I can eat like pumpkin pie no problem, but whenever I touch pumpkin guts, I break out into hives. And there's nothing more satisfying than popping the top of a pumpkin there, getting all the guts out. It's so much fun. And then we have all the insides right there because it's so cool to look at. And then, of course, you want to clean up the top. You don't want to carve too much around the edges of it because you still want to put the top on your pumpkin. You just want to clean out all the guts off the bottom there. So once that's cleaned up, it's ready to start digging in there. So like I said before, I'm actually quite allergic. Whenever I touch pumpkin guts with my bare skin, I break out into hives. So I actually had to wash my hands several times while filming this because I didn't want to have like bloody hives all over my hands and wrists and shit. So once you're done cleaning out, your pumpkin should be nice and hollow just like that. It looks pretty cool actually, I think. And then you got your nice pot full of pumpkin guts. As much as I'm allergic to it, I still like to feel it in my hands because it's still all gooey and shit. I just think that's fun. It's one of the fun parts of it. And then once it's all carved out, hollowed out and shit, you can go ahead and draw some faces on it. Now, I'm not much of an artist. I can barely draw. But obviously, with pumpkins, it's easy to do faces, just regular geometric shapes. I like to do upside down triangles for the eyes because I think when they're right side up, the pumpkin looks too happy. And during the like Halloween season, you want it to look scary and mournful or whatever. So I just went for a pretty stereotypical pumpkin look, just triangle eyes, some nose slits, and then a big spiky mouth. I'd carved another pumpkin last night with a bit more intricate design, but for this one I just wanted to go pretty basic. So then we are ready to carve. Personally, I always carve with the eyeballs. I always start with the eyeballs. I don't know why, I just think it's always so much more fun doing it that way, poking their eyes out. I always find doing the nose like really difficult because I don't like doing like triangle noses. I like doing like no slits because I think it looks cooler. For some reason it makes me think of like a bat or whatever, but it's always like if you're a beginner pumpkin carver, you might not want to do it that way because the thin line in the middle, it can be really easy to break that. I do pumpkins every year, at least one, so I don't have an issue with it. I'm quite good at it, but someone doing it new might not be too good at it. Now, doing the mouth, for some reason, I used to have a lot of trouble doing the mouth, but this year, it was pretty easy going through it. I usually have to cut it into, like, a bunch of sections, but this time I just did the whole thing at once, because a lot of times I like to do, like, big spiky teeth, and the teeth always break off, but thankfully it didn't happen this time. It came out quite nicely. I just go along with it. It's pretty easy to do once you get the hang of it, and once you know what tools to use. In past years, I got, like, it felt like the kits were for like little kids because all the tools were super small, and I got like big fucking hands, you know, like it's hard for me to use these tiny little tools with my big ass fingers trying to hold on to it. It always hurt my fingers and my wrist, but this time I got like adult tools to use and it was so much easier to use. Now, coming up is something I've never been able to do is get the whole mouthpiece out in once. Like I said before, I can usually get it into sections, but that time it came out perfectly in once. I was so proud of myself. So once you get all the pieces carved out, you want to do is go and clean it up a bit. Whenever I carve it, for some reason, I always carve it at an angle, and the holes aren't as big as like the outer rim is. So I have to go in and like clean it up to make sure that when I light it up, the light goes down nice and bright. So I'm not like being obstructed by any like outside of the pumpkin. And then whenever you clean it up, you obviously want to clean up the inside again because there's going to be a bunch of shit falling back in there. And you don't want to have like a bunch of rotting pumpkin bits inside your pumpkin. It's going to stink up the place really bad. And then once you're done that, you just get yourself a nice wet piece of paper towel and just clean up your pumpkin. Get the inside of the mouth, the nose, and teeth. Try not to fuck up the teeth because those are usually pretty easy to break. Once you're done that, yeah, you got a nice good looking pumpkin. And obviously use a dry erase marker when you do it, so when you wipe it down, the ink comes right off, so you're not using like a permanent marker and having ink still all over it. So like I said, last night I did another pumpkin too, so now I have 2 carved pumpkins to put on display here. The other pumpkin I did was considerably bigger. And then I just turned off all the lights, closed the blinds so I can light these sumbitches up. Of course, a pumpkin looks cool, but it looks so much better once you light candles inside of it. I always do more than one candle just so we get a good bright light in there, and it just looks so much cooler. So yeah, those are my pumpkins for this year. I hope you guys like the way they look. I'm planning on doing actually another one tonight because I just love doing pumpkins. It's so much fun fucking carving them up and stuff. And of course I always put something scary on TV, like last night when I was doing that first pumpkin, I put on a bunch of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes. So yeah, I'm going to be doing another one. I'll be showing these off on my Instagram and Facebook if you guys want to check them out. So yeah, that is my pumpkin carving for this year. Did you guys do any pumpkins? And if so, what designs did you do? Do you even like doing pumpkins at all? If you don't, let me know. If you do, I'd love to know what kind of pumpkins you guys do. So that is it for today's video. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of today's video, and share it with a few of your friends while you're at it. If you want to keep up with me on a more daily basis, you can follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. I also have a P.O. box open. All of that info is down in the description. I also have a handful of patches left for sale, so if you'd like to get your very own, you can click the annotation on the screen. There's also a link down in the description. Overall, thank you very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to stay spooky.